I'm delighted to say Ollie has taken the opportunity to get hold of us, and he's up on the Skype call now. Ollie, good evening to you.
Evening, lads. You right?
Yeah, very good indeed, Ollie. I think you were at the City game yesterday, weren't you?
Indeed I was.
Yeah, Flash here is in the studio. He's saying strongest Arsenal side he's seen for 5 years. Would you accord with that?
No chance.
Go on then.
Side 2 years ago was challenging for the league. We're not challenging for the league this year, so I can't say that it's the strongest side in 5 years. No.
Ollie, you're not at the moment because we're only halfway through the season. But if you have a look at the way you're not flimsy, you're not going away from home and getting beaten. You're not like shipping goals. You've got players to come back into that squad. You've got 7 or 8 players that are not in playing yesterday that would walk into most Premiership sides. This is the strongest squad of players at Arsenal I have seen. And you say that you need players, probably a striker, and that's it.
I understand where you're coming from. It probably is in terms of squad depth, probably the best. But in terms of the 11, I don't think you can even look at, the 3 in midfield of Song, Arteta and Ramsey and compare that to, the likes of having Nasri in there and Fabregas of last year. So from that point of view, squad, I would say it's probably better. But overall, that 11, which you're going to put out week in, week out, I don't think it's worse than the side that we're putting at the moment.
Ollie, you've got to be a bit more optimistic because you've just mentioned Arteta, Song, and Ramsey. They went to the City of Manchester Stadium or the Etihad Arena, whatever you want to call it, and they were not outdone by Toure, Silva, Barry. They more than matched them, and you had more chances yesterday at their ground than most teams get.
Yeah, I 100% agree. We did, but we are one of the best teams in the country, so we should go there and we should have more chances than anyone that has gone there. Because I think we're probably the only side who've gone to City of Manchester who are in the top 4 really from last season. So I expected us to go there and bring the game to them and create opportunities. But I think the difference between Manchester City yesterday and us was I think they showed their class because they went and won that game. And an Arsenal side, from 5-6 years ago, I think would have gone there and actually won that game. And I think that really did show the difference for me yesterday between how strong Manchester City are for this league title compared to us. Because, we look good, and I think we were unlucky and a bit hard done by to not get a point. But if there was one team that I thought was going to win that game, I thought it was Manchester City, and they created at least 2 to 3 clear-cut chances, and we didn't really create any clear-cut chances that I can remember from the game.
Mm-hmm. Garry? I watched the Villa game yesterday, and then I went and caught the last 20-25 minutes of the Man City-Arsenal game, and I was amazed how open the game was and what good football there was played in the game. I thoroughly enjoyed it, especially after coming from what I'd just seen. But the question I've got is, what's happened to Shamak and Al-Shabin? Because I keep hearing people go, get rid of them, they're rubbish. You've been watching them, obviously. What do you reckon?
From my point of view, they've got to go. I feel a bit sorry for Shamak because, a year ago he was in the squad week in, week out, scoring goals for fun. I think it was this time last year that he went to Villa Park and he scored a couple of goals. I think at least one goal. And he was looking like the bargain of the year. A free transfer. Van Persie comes in, and I don't think anyone really expected Van Persie to have the year that he's had. And when you're playing the formation that we put out, I feel that Shamak must be looking to that. I did everything I could for the first 4 or 5 months of the season, and Van Persie's come in and he's done the most remarkable job. No one expected it, and how can he expect to get in the side? And I think when you're on the bench getting 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there, you've got to make it count, and he hasn't made it count, and you got to feel a bit sorry for him. But Arshavin, on the other hand, every single supporter, in the away end yesterday, when we're at Ashburton Grove, when he comes on or he's starting, he doesn't track back, he's lazy, he misplaces passes, and the Arshavin of old, there was a chance yesterday where the ball got sort of floated across to him and he had a sort of a tame shot at goal. A couple of years ago, you know, you would expect him to take the ball down and at least make the keeper work. He was just poor. He looks like a player who's out of form. And even if you're out of form, what you need to be doing as a player to get the supporters on your side is to chase back and try and win those balls and to actually sort of wear the shirt with pride. And he just doesn't. And, the fans have lost interest in him. And I think Wenger has as well. And what's surprising for me is how he still gets the opportunities. He hasn't taken those opportunities. And someone like Oxlade-Chamberlain, he's come into the squad. When the opportunity is presented to him, he really takes it. And I'm surprised that Wenger didn't have him, on the bench yesterday to come on, because Arshavin, he looks like he's got no clue what to do on the pitch.